Hello, you're back with Beatle, back on Survivor IO. What is the best weapons and what to avoid in open maps? Today I'll be jumping into Chapter 20, Desert Center, which is an open map. I will be using Kunai, Epic, level 63. I have two other Epics, all the others are S tier, excellent, +2s, and we're going to jump straight into Desert Center. Here we go, first upgrade, I'll just get the Type A drone, spin the combat supplies. Next upgrade, it's come quickly, let's get the drill shot. So I am using the Kunai as it is obviously an open map where enemies come from all 360 degrees, so the idea being a slow firing area of effect weapon is not going to be as ideal as it would be on a vertical map. So I'm using the Kunai as ideally you need something that can sort of shoot relatively quickly and kill enemies that are approaching you from all angles. The Kunai, once it is upgraded at least to the Spirit Shuriken, is probably going to be your best bet in terms of killing enemies that are coming at you from all angles. Let's upgrade the drone here. You also probably want to avoid slow firing single shot weapons. I think the lightning emitter is probably going to be something you want to avoid as well. I suppose the build that I'm trying to get, I would always recommend the destroy no matter what the map, as that just really helps on boss stages. I think if you can get the Inferno Bomb, that is obviously going to be a really good weapon as well. Force Field, no. Soccer Ball, potentially. Lightning Emitter, no. I think if I had the tech part for the Soccer Ball, I'd use that, but I am going to refresh it there. I'm going to get the Brick. Brick itself is not going to be ideal for this, but once it is upgraded, the 1-to-9 is exceptionally good, as it does fire all 360 degrees around you, so I would always recommend using the Brick on open stages. Pretty much on any stage, its attack and damage is going to be right near the top, but especially on open stages, once you've got that 1-to-9, it does fire 360 degrees and it's a really strong weapon. Next upgrade here, I am going to get the Molotov. Molotov itself, very strong when enemies are coming 360 degrees around you. Again, it's one of those weapons that you probably can't use on any stage, but especially on open stages when there's a lot of enemies coming at all angles, the Molotov is going to be one of the best, and it can save you a lot because it does a lot of damage over time to every single enemy that is trying to get to you, so I would recommend that. Here I'm going to go for the modular mine. I would quite like the white drone, but I'm going to try and get the Inferno Bomb first, and then once that has combined, I'll have a weapon slot back up in which I will try and get the white drone, then get the destroyer. Here's a little elite. Goes down relatively quickly thanks to the Kunai and the drone. We only get one weapon from it, unfortunately, but we will take the drill. That goes to level 2. I think the whistling arrow is another weapon that does pretty good in terms of when there's quite a lot of enemies just in general. Energy cube I do quite like, but we'll just upgrade the modular mine and keep going through it that way. I can see that magnet, but I'm just going to see how long I can try and let some of these gems build up before I grab that and try and make it as efficient as possible. Here we go, zombies incoming, so I am actually just going to grab it now before it does get quite hectic. We'll get the Molotov there. Hopefully we get another level up. We do. I'll get the Brick. Hopefully get that upgraded very soon. We'll get the Type A drone. We'll get the Molotov. I am going to have to avoid the oil bond, as I am, as I say, trying to get the Inferno Bomb. So if the Molotov is Evo upgraded, then I would be stuck with the modular mine and the fuel barrel as separate weapons. So that is what I am trying to avoid, at least for the time being. Having the fuel barrel once you have the Inferno Bomb is the ideal, but we'll have to see if we get lucky enough with the upgrades there. In terms of weapons to avoid, I would say the laser launcher is probably going to be at the top, as it is for most of my runs. I think it would depend on how overpowered you are or how powerful you are for the level that you're on, as I have heard that the laser launcher can be good if you're really struggling for a stage, i.e. the enemies are able to sort of actually get to you. The laser launcher can do damage, especially once the range has been increased with the HE fuel and the energy cube is used to make it attack more often. Then it can be quite helpful, but in general for me, I haven't found it helpful once. So I would always recommend pretty much avoiding it. As I say, I'd also avoid the lightning emitter on these types of stages. Having the sort of 360 degrees big area of effect that can sort of shoot all around you, that is exactly what you're looking for here. So I'll get the Kunai here. So I think the absolute perfect build would be the destroyer, the Kunai, the drill, the Brick, the Inferno Bomb, and then the fuel barrel. That is what I think would be the best. That is what I'm going to try and aim for. Obviously it does depend a bit on how lucky I get, and then in terms of the passives, obviously you want the ones that get the Evo upgrades as well as maybe just the attack upgrade as well, possibly even the energy cube, but we will have to see how we go there. I'll get the modular mine upgraded here, as much as I do want the other two, just so I can get the Brick upgrade as well as the energy cube. I'll just get the modular mine as we are trying to get the Inferno Bomb. Lots of level ups that we need here, especially if we do actually manage managed to get the white drone for the destroyer. There's sort of an extra 2 weapons that we'd need to fully upgrade to get there, and we're already on the first boss here at the 5-minute stage, so we'll just keep running around. We could do with upgrading the kunai. I think that's only upgraded like once or twice, but thankfully the damage is high enough that we do manage to kill that easy enough. We'll get on the chest, get on the lucky trait. Only 1 upgrade again, that's quite unlucky, but it is the Molotov. Move to level 4. We'll also get the magnet. Hopefully that'll give us at least 1 level up. We will get the type A drone, and that was it. That is quite unfortunate. With the fuel barrel at level 4, you can sort of see it just about now covers all 360 degrees around you, and why I think it is quite a strong weapon to have. And now it's actually level 5. When all the enemies are coming at you from 360 degrees, it just covers the whole map pretty much. Every enemy has to go through it, has to take that damage over time. Let's upgrade the brick there. So I think the damage of the fuel barrel is always going to be pretty strong, even though it might not do that much damage. So if you look, I think the brick does 35, the kunai does around 50 or 30, whereas the damage over time with the fuel barrel is, I think, only 10,000. I think it can get criticals, maybe it looks like, but it's lower, but it obviously attacks every single enemy, whereas the kunai doesn't. Once it's got the Evo upgrade, maybe it's obviously a lot more powerful, but that is why I quite like having the fuel barrel, just because it actually does do damage to every single enemy there. Okay, I think it's time to start filling our passive upgrades here. Let's just get the ammo thruster here so we can upgrade the drill shot when we get there. I think I'll start filling that passive upgrades with the passives that give us the Evo upgrades. Next level up, we can actually get the brick to max level, so next upgrade we should be able to get the 1 iron ton, which is going to be really helpful. When I was talking about damage earlier, the brick does so much, or the 1 ton iron I should say, actually does so much damage, and it fires completely 360 degrees around you. It goes through all the enemies, and the damage is always going to be right near the top. These enemies they're not actually getting too close to me, but they are firing the weapons, which manages to actually do quite a bit of damage to me, so I am having to run around. Usually you can just about stand still once you've got the fuel barrel high enough, but I am having to move around. But so far so good. But it's not quite getting scared I'm going to die yet, but saying that, my health is about halfway. Yeah, just I probably am getting a bit nervous now. I actually do have the revive perk from the armor that I'm wearing, so even if I do die, I can revive. Zombies incoming. I'm actually just going to try and escape that little horde and try and move to the side. We'll try and get a bit of space, maybe even try and find some meat to heal up. Can't seem to find anything, but it does seem to have quietened down a bit. I'm just going to carry on running around a bit. I do have sort of an automatic heal. As slow as it is, my HP will slowly regain as long as I'm alive and not taking damage, so that is what I am going to try and do, as well as keep an eye out for any meat heals as well. But yeah, stages are certainly getting harder now. Chapter 20, I do know there's still a long way to go, and my gear and things is actually really strong, but definitely the chapters are getting harder, so I am having to actually try and use meta builds and do my best in terms of actually trying to beat each chapter now. So I suppose, as well as these guides that I'm doing for the different types of maps, it's also a bit of a chapter guide on how to complete each chapter. And here is a little elite with a megaphone. I'm probably going to die here in the mix. Somehow I didn't die, but there is the 1 to 9, toughest in the world, and you can see when it fires, each actual anvil just carries on going, doesn't sort of stop once it hits an enemy, so it does that whole pierce, sort of infinite pierce damage, and the damage that it actually does is absolutely massive. So that is why I think that is a really strong weapon to use pretty much on any stage, but especially on an open map. It is going to be really powerful. I can see that I've got a chest to the right. I'm actually just trying to survive at this stage. I think I could do with getting the kunai Evo upgrade. That is going to be helping us out a lot, but we'll get on that chest hopefully. Only 1 upgrade again, that is so unlucky. Usually it's 3 or 5, but drill upgrade, just the flight speed doubled, not ideal. Boss will actually, if I can kill it, will actually give us some meat to heal up, which is going to be good. It is the Toxinator. I'll just try and run around the sides, won't focus too much on trying to get my drone to do the damage, as I don't really want to take any damage from him, so I will hopefully keep my distance, let my kunai do what it does best and do the damage, and I'll just keep moving around until I've managed to kill it. Possibly the least exciting way to actually kill a boss. I'll just try and get close now. I'm right at the end. There it goes, and you can actually see how much damage the drones do, and thankfully there is some meat on the floor. We get 3, which is nice. A bit of a change, but we'll get the kunai. We'll get the meat, which is going to be really handy, and we can get the drill here. That is, I can get the Evo. There it is, whistling arrow. Till death do we rest. So we'll get that. That'll certainly help us out. We can get the Type A drone upgrade here. Still need the modular mine upgraded. There it is to level 4. I think we still actually need the Molotov upgraded as well. No, we don't. Okay, perfect. Flames of Inferno. There we go. A really strong weapon, and hopefully we can actually try and find now the Molotov again in the weapons, as you can get that back. That would be my perfect build, I think. I'll get the Koga Ninja Scroll just so we can get the Evo upgrade of the kunai, and actually take that back. I'm looking for the white drone to merge with the destroyer and then get the Molotov back. That's the perfect build. So we are looking out for the white drone to try and get the destroyer. Yeah, you can see how much damage this Inferno bomb does, 267,000, and you can compare that against the One Iron Ton, which I think does 53,000 when it hits the enemies. So you can just sort of see exactly how much damage that Inferno bomb is doing, and it's a lot. So that is why that is generally right near the top in terms of damage dealt. I'll just try and stand near it. Hopefully it adds a bit of protection, even if they are firing projectiles at me. Try and dodge them and then just stand in the fire once they explode. Realistically, could do as a magnet, as it's really hard to try and actually get a level up here, but there is a drone, an elite I should say, coming at me here. I'm just trying to avoid him. We'll pick up his chest. Thankfully he has died, and there we get the Spirit Shuriken. We should do, there it is, thankfully, in and out like a ghost. That'll really help us out now we've got that Evo upgrade. A lot of gems on the floor. It is really tricky to actually try and get to them, but I'm going to make a bit of a dash for it and try and get as much as I can there. Don't want the laser launcher. That would be certainly something to avoid, as would the boomerang, so I'll get the extra experience. Hopefully that does help us level up. I'll try and get a few more of these gems. I am looking out for that white drone. Hopefully we don't get unlucky. We haven't, I suppose. We can get the ammo thruster upgraded there, as we don't want to take up another weapon slot with either of those two. There is an elite coming at me here. Hopefully we can get him killed, especially now we've got a few of the Evo upgrades. It shouldn't take too long to kill him, but you can definitely see how much health the enemies now have. And there it is, the Molotov. It's obviously not ideal. I would have quite liked the white drone first, but I guess we'll get the Molotov. That will still help us out even if we don't have the destroyer. I guess we're just going to have to manage with the one drone this time. The last couple of minutes are always really hectic, always enemies are on the screen everywhere, so ideally I would like the Molotov leveled up as much as I can, at least to 4 ideally, but we'll have to see how we get. Yeah, a lot of projectiles on the screen shooting after me now, so I'm going to have to carry on moving. I think in terms of what the damage is going to be at the end, the 1 ton iron is probably going to be at the top. I think the Spirit Shuriken will also be near the top, and I also think the Inferno bomb will be really high. Geez, they're doing so much damage. I don't know what I can do here. Trying to move out of the way. This is probably why I got the HP regain, but not much I can do. I mean, the enemies are all over the screen here, so I'm not really too sure what I can do to try and outlast this. Hopefully we don't even get the Molotov there. Ammo thruster twice and the fitness guide. There's just enemies everywhere. Not sure what I can do to try and survive this. Just gonna have to try and stand still, try and play the Inferno bomb once that has exploded, stand in the fire. I do know that enemies were going to really struggle to get too close to me there. We'll get the Molotov upgraded to level 3. Still needs to be higher, or you know, this is where the destroyer would have been really handy when the enemies are this close. Possibly the laser launcher could have been handy here. Not too sure. I guess we won't actually find that out, but I think we've still got a really strong build. So I'm not sure why we're struggling this much. I guess chapters are just getting quite a bit harder. Really interested to see what the damage comparison is going to be like at the end here, because I can see that the whistling arrow is absolutely whizzing around doing damage to everything on the screen. So I think that'll even be really high. I think every single weapon that I've got here will actually be quite high in terms of the damage that it's doing. I wonder what will be the top. I think the Inferno bomb and the One Iron Ton are probably going to run away with it. I'll be interested to see. Thankfully we get the Molotov to level 5. I think that again will really help us out, as that is just doing damage to absolutely everything on the screen. Last sort of 30 or 40 seconds before the final boss, and it looks like we've got a different set of enemies coming at us here. Going to be really hard to try and last this, but I am going to do what I can. I'll get the attack plus 10%, as I think that's probably going to be one of the best upgrades I can get here to just increase the damage of all the weapons that I've already got. If I can't get the oil bond, but I mean, last 15 seconds, realistically, there's not going to be too many more level ups. As soon as we get this boss incoming and these enemies disappear, I'm going to try and get as many level ups as I can, as I think the attack increase is going to be really handy just for the final boss. But I think the boss is going to be easier than what I've actually just been through, as hopefully It's relatively easy. Get the energy cube here, why not? Just to sort of move around and let the kunai do all the damage. I'll get the attack plus 20% there as well, so yeah, hopefully. Oh, magnet is absolutely perfect timing here. Yeah, got loads of levels at the end there, but yeah, boss easy enough. Boss is actually a lot easier than what the mobs were towards the end, but there we go. That is chapter 20 complete and the best weapons to use on open stages. Now for the damage comparison, whistling arrow at the top with the 1 ton iron at 22%, inferno bomb at 22%. As I thought that the drone would be the worst, spirit shuriken 11%, but I think that I use that more for the bosses than anything, and the molotov, not evo upgraded and still managed 15%. So realistically, this was a really solid build. I would have quite liked to have the destroyer. If I could have got that instead of the molotov, and then the molotov once it had merged, that would be the absolute perfect build in my opinion for an open stage. But there we have it. That is chapter 20 complete. Really happy with that, I suppose, and nearly 20,000 kills. So if you have enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out. I am on my way to 1,000 subscribers to join the YouTube partner program. So yeah, appreciate all your support. Thanks a lot. Catch you in the next one.